Well, Dean, you might say you were the kings of Carrow Road, given who was in attendance. So what a great day that was. And has it given everyone a lift, a boost going into this fixture against Brighton now?
What, the future king being there?
Well, no, the result and
it should do. I mean, we won comfortably, scored some really good goals, could have scored more, but there's still improvements to make, that's for sure. It was a really good way to go into the international period, especially after the last one when we had the Crystal Palace saga. So it was nice to go into this period and on the back of a really good performance and a good result.
You're right, I think you alluded to it. When people say international break, it almost conjures images of everyone down in tools and going to the beach, but you've been working hard at Bodymoor, haven't you?
I just felt that this period is an opportunity for us to go and work on a few bits and bobs that we need to going into the next period of games. And we've got players away on international duty who are playing as well, so I don't feel that it's holiday time for our lads, that's for sure. And the next international period is a bit different because you're a third away into the season, and all of a sudden you look at it a little bit differently. There's probably 15 games played by then, or 12 or 13 games played by then, depending on cup games, and there's a little bit more in the legs, so they need more of a rest period than certainly they did this one.
One of those players on international duty, Tyrone Mings, conducted himself impeccably, didn't he? He was an asset to his profession and his family in very difficult circumstances.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously made his debut for England, the national team, and obviously I'm English, so very proud to see him, go and make his first game. And if I talk about the football first, I thought he was excellent, and I think probably the best accolade I could give him was it looked like he was playing for Aston Villa. He was organising people, he was talking, he was assured on the ball. He didn't have an awful lot to do defensively because England had a lot of the ball, and I think he can be really pleased with his first performance and contributed to a very comfortable win. And
the way he handled the situation as well, it says a lot about the man.
Yeah, it does. I mean, but it's what I would expect from him as well. I think it's anybody who comes into contact with him daily, expects that of him. Is one of the reasons why we brought him into the football club. Not just his qualities as a footballer, but as a person. Character-wise, personality. He's a big, strong lad. Good personality, good character, and all the references that we had from him were very good as well. And the way he spoke after the game in the face of the racism that occurred that evening, he spoke very well. He made the officials aware of something that was happening, and the whole demeanour of him was a credit to him and his family.
Yeah, he's even been mentioned in Parliament as to how he behaved, and it's important, isn't it, to take a stand?
Yeah, no, it's very important. It's a scourge on society at the moment, racism, and I mean, for me, I was there watching the game. The next step for me is that it shouldn't take Tyrone Mings to make somebody aware of them noises. Somebody from UEFA who's at the game should be able to step in and say, "Listen, I'm hearing it." I think that's the next way forward. That's the next step forward for us. That it's not one of the people who's getting abused who makes us aware of this. It's somebody else who's not being abused but hears it. For me, that's the way forward.
And let's hope it's the first of many England appearances for Tyrone.
Yeah, certainly, because as a player, we think a lot of him. I've said and waxed lyrical about him a lot. There's not many, left-sided centre backs in the country. I think we've got two very good ones with Courtney House as well. So we're quite blessed in that department.
And the man many are calling McGuinney Esther nowadays weighed in with a hat-trick. He's not doing too badly for club and country.
No, I mean, he went through a very, tough game against Russia the game before, and, Scotland were hurting a little bit. I think they'd lost 4 games on the spin for the first time in a long time, but tough games against Belgium and Russia. And he answered back brilliantly with, 3 goals. I think it's his first career hat-trick as well. So, he's probably probably turned up to training with us with the match ball under his arm to show the lads as well. But really pleased for him because it's what we see every week from him, and thankfully he's going and taking that into international duty as well. And we had, I think, 9 players away, and they've all gone and contributed to the countries. Conor Hurahan played against Georgia. Douglas Luiz has scored another goal from outside the box for Brazil under 23. So we're really pleased with the international players we've got here, and that they're contributing to their national team success.
Yeah, Douglas might score a tap in one of these days. You never know.
Yeah, I'm not so sure. I think he's just about worldies at the moment.
Yeah. So looking ahead now to the big game on Saturday. Obviously, you beat them in the League Cup, but that'll have no bearing with it. There'll be two probably very different sides.
Yeah, I mean, we made 9 changes for that game, and Brighton themselves made 10 changes. They were younger than us, and we beat them very comfortably. But Saturday will be very different. I'll be coming up against an old centre forward of mine in Neil Mopai, and Graham Potter's gone in there and done a really good job. They had a great result before the international period themselves, beating Tottenham 3-0. On the back of that, us having a great result, both teams were going full of confidence. So it'll be a tough one for us, but as I've said, we take the game in isolation. We know what our strengths are, and we look at what their weaknesses and try and expose them.
I think you said in an earlier interview this season, Dean, that you don't get carried away by a poor result or a very good result. It's about how you build on to the next game, isn't it? And you will be absolutely, determined that great win at Carrow Road wasn't a one-off, and you push on there. Yeah,
we strive for consistency. Every day in what we do and in our performances, and if we can take what we did at Norwich into the next game, then that'll be very good for us, and be a tough game for the opposition. So we have to make sure we don't get carried away by one result, and the lads know me well enough, and being in 4 days on the spin last week certainly alluded to not taking our foot off the gas.
Yeah, the small matter of the top 2 after that. So it would be great, wouldn't it, to go and have a crack at those massive teams on the back of a good result here.
It would be, but as I said before, we don't look too far ahead. It's Brighton, and our full concentration on that game, and a team that's done well in the last game against a team that's already beat us. So we know what their capabilities are, but we certainly know what ours are as well.
And it'd be great to see Prince George at another game soon, wouldn't it? He's seen one, and it was a 5-1 win, not a bad start.
No, I mean, there were great pictures, to see, somebody in such a high esteemed position, just taking his wife and his son to a game of football, and his son was certainly enjoying it.